Hey everybody, it's Ronnie again with Sci-Fi Monkeys, and we're still at Crypticon, and now we are talking to the gorgeous and beautiful Scream Queen, better known as Jessica Cameron.
Thank you so very much for having me.
Oh,
Finally,
no,
I was
thank
so
you.
disappointed that I wasn't selected to be interviewed last year.
Oh, it wasn't actually a selection thing, it was out of time. And
That's okay, I get it.
As you see, we have extra batteries this time around. But yes, thank you.
You've got to plan ahead.
Yeah, well, it's all a learning experience every time.
Of course.
You know. So yeah, let's talk about you.
Okay.
That's always fun.
I never talk about me, so this will be super awesome.
Let's talk about Save Yourself.
Ooh.
Yes.
Save Yourself is my super fun, woman-driven horror film that we shot up in Canada. It's about a group of female filmmakers who are en route to a film festival when they come across a mad scientist.
Mad scientist, nice.
So it was a lot of fun. I shot it in Toronto last year, and I can't wait to see it.
Right on, right. So you haven't even seen it yet?
No!
It's still in post-production, right?
It's still in post-production. It's just finishing the stages, and we are actively looking for film festivals right now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You guys can check out the trailer on Sci-Fi Monkeys right now.
Please do that.
It alone will give you chills.
It's really fun.
So, being a Scream Queen, I want to know, what drew you to being a Scream Queen? What brought you into this?
You know, it was honestly a lot of fluke. I started acting as a result of my day job, thinking that I had too fast of a speech. So I started taking acting classes, and I just sort of fell in love. And it was a couple of years before I'd taken every class within like a 7-hour drive. And all my teachers were like, "You're really good, you should just start auditioning. You know, like that's like the next step." And I was like, well, I'm not really looking for a second job. You know, I kind of was just doing this for fun. And I did fashion in school, and I loved it. And then I got it as a career, and I hated it. So I was kind of paranoid that, oh my God, what if I do acting for realsies and I hate it? What if it changes when I take money for it? Mm-hmm. So I wasn't really excited about that, but I did it kind of begrudgingly, because what else do you do? I knew that I loved acting, and I just started auditioning, and I started booking work right away, and I started to have so much fun that it was a matter of months before I was like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do with my life. And then I just sort of started focusing on trying to get as much high quality work as possible. And for me, I honestly don't really care about the genre that I'm acting in as much as I care about the character and what she's going through. But being in the Midwest at the time, most of the independent films that shoot out there are horror films, because you don't need to leave Star, you don't have to be in California, you can do them anywhere. Mm-hmm. So by fluke, I just started acting in all these horror films, which is great, because they're the favorite genre for me to watch. You know, as an actor, it's not like I act differently in a horror film. I just happen to be going through usually a much larger emotional range, because what my character's going through is usually like on the extreme end of the spectrum, as opposed to like a romantic comedy where it's like, oh no, he broke up with me, boo-hoo, you know, as opposed to I'm running from zombies and they're going to eat me alive, right? So it's much more fun because you get to play the real extremes.
Yeah, and you playing all those extremes, which you do. I was looking at you've been slaughtered in many ways. How do you prepare for those roles? I mean, you know, because some of them I can see take an emotional toll with, you know, just like you said, the extremity of it all.
Well, I try to look at, first and foremost, I try to figure out where the character's coming from and what they're doing. And if I don't have something that I can personally sort of relate to or connect with from the character, then I find out who I can source that has that connection to the material. So, for example, like Utero, I play a young woman who's 9 months pregnant, which of course I've never been. So I have a good friend of mine who had a very difficult pregnancy. So I reached out to her to be like, what was it like for you when you were like at home, pregnant, scared, afraid? You know, let's talk through this process. Tell me what it was like to be in your shoes. So I sort of find those people to sort of grasp what it was like from their POV, so I can kind of embrace that for my characters if it's something that I can't relate to. And then also, for most horror films, for me anyways, there's a very large medical component. And medical meaning just, if you are stabbed, you feel this. If you are hurt here, this is what happens, you know? Because I think it's really important that you're medically accurate wherever possible.
Make sure you know if you're
Yeah.
stabbing this tendon, which part of you
Correct.
twitch.
Like if you're or like if you're stabbed in like the left side and it hits your spinal column, you won't be able to move the one side of your body. You know, things like that, where I think it's really crucial that your character knows that, so that you're giving an honest and real portrayal. It also really affects your mindset and how you're going about the rest of the film, you know, after you deal with these things. So I think it's really crucial for you to understand the medical aspect of a horror film as an actor.
So, being the Scream Queen you are, Has there been a role yet or a scene that you're just like, no, I can't, or
What?
it's just too much?
So it's not something that I don't do, but it's something that I'm really particular about when I do it. Peeing on screen, right? For me to play a character who's going to be like, I'm going to urinate now in front of the camera, it just, because I feel like there's like weird urine fetishes, which I'm not judging, it's fine, I swear I'm not judging, but it has to be right for the character. And I find I get like the most random script where it's like a really good script, and then outside of any kind of logic, my character will be like, and I'm going to pee right here in the middle of the woods right now. And I'm like, no, my character would not do that. Like, no, we're running from a murder and I have to go to the bathroom, so allow me to take 3 minutes out to pee on camera. No, I wouldn't. I would just pee myself and keep running.
It doesn't seem like they would help progress the storyline either,
Right?
you know?
It doesn't.
It
doesn't.
You're dead now.
Clever. But that being said, I
do.
in one of my upcoming films, I pee on camera and it's a plot point. So,
Okay.
stay tuned.
Can you tell us which one? No.
Utero.
Okay.
Well, pregnancy, right?
What do you have coming out? I mean, you
A lot.
have a lot coming out.
Yes, I'm
Where
really
do you
lucky.
find the time? My goodness.
I don't like sleep. I like a lot of energy drinks and coffee. I have a very firm belief that I will sleep when I'm dead. I mean, I hope. That's what else am I going to do then? I will have time on my hands. So that's kind of like my plan. But no, there's a ton of films coming out, including Save Yourself that we talked about, which is going to make the festival rounds this year. Then we have Utero, which is my spider baby movie, which is really fun. So that's in post-production, should be making festival rounds hopefully into this year. And then we did triple feature while traveling cross country to bring the films to the fan last year. And I directed Mania, which is in post. And that's my fucked up lesbian love story, which is super fun and really entertaining. And it stars Ellie Church. It's really great. And the trailer is getting amazing reviews, so I'm really blessed on that. And that's the next directorial thing that I've focused on. We are just finishing post, and we hope to premiere later on this year. So if you are going to Fantasia, Fright Fest, Scream Fest, tweet them and be like, we want Mania, because they'll listen to you. And then Desolation, the other narrative that we made while traveling cross country, in which I play the lead, with Carlos Mendez, who, if you don't know who he is, he's Eva Mendez's brother. So he looks like a male version of Eva Mendez. So he's very pretty. We filmed traveling cross country, and at one point we were early to a location, and it was a McDonald's, and I was like, okay, cool, I'll buy everyone ice cream because there's a McDonald's here, and we'll just wait the 45 minutes till the warehouse next door is open. And I'm in the RV doing something, and I go into the McDonald's, and all the female employees are crowded around Carlo. All of them, they're taking selfies or pictures, because who is this sexy man, actor, TV star? Who is he? And he was on Parks and Rec, so everyone's like, oh my God, we love you. And there's these women, I didn't think I was going to get him out of there. I was like, we just lost our actor. He's stuck here, because I was like, I don't know how you're
Time
supposed
for
to
a recast.
Right? I was like, you are going to be stuck in this small town in Ohio at the McDonald's, because all these women are not going to let you leave. So that's in post-production too. We'll be hitting the festival rounds later on this year. Kill the PA, which is the documentary around making Mania and Desolation, which is probably the film I'm most excited about, just because...
That was your Kickstarter, right?
It was my crowdfunding, yeah. We actually went through our website, and we raised a bunch of money, and then we did Indiegogo separately, just to sort of see the difference. And just so you know, you could do pretty much the same numbers on a website without paying the fees. So if you're a filmmaker, that's good to know. If you have a reputation where people trust you, which thankfully we do. But it's an honest look at independent filmmaking. So the good, the bad, the ugly, it's all on camera, and we're trying to cut it down. I could have there probably will be a 6-hour cut somewhere to be watch us go through hell. And it's also kind of like my descent into madness. And it's also really comical, because it opens up and everyone's super excited to be making movies, and then cut to the very end of the shoot where it's me in a hotel room, and they're like, where's your crew? And I was like, I don't know. Are they coming back? The sun's setting and you have one more shot to get. I'm like, I hope so. It sucks. And they're like, are you going to cry? And I'm like, I'm going to cry, but I'm trying hard not to. So it shows you exactly what making a movie in the independent scale is like. So I don't think there's anything like that. And I think it can be, out of everything I've done, it's going to be the most helpful and the most educational, which I'm really excited about. And then there's just another film that we're getting ready to hopefully lock down and direct and star in, which I can't tell you the title right now because we don't have the documents signed as of yet. But we have secured the funding, and it looks like it's going to be a go. So,
is this going to be a 2017 release?
Yes.
I might.
Well, it'll probably. Yeah. You know what? We're going to shoot it late summer, right now, late summer, early fall. which means it should be able to be ready as maybe like a, I can't announce it, but we'll do like a midnight top secret super screening at Crypticon. Because I would love to do that. Awesome. Like, I can't name it by name, but we could do something secret. It's like, everybody join me for a top secret movie that we're not allowed to discuss ever. So we'll do something like that.
What about the rumor that you're going to be in Le Fear 4?
The what?
Le Fear 4?
Maybe. I don't know. I haven't heard that one.
Oh, you haven't heard that rumor
I'm
yet?
like rumored to be in a bunch of stuff. I basically hope they all come true. Which one is that one?
The Fear 4, I'm not actually familiar with those ones yet. I just heard that you were going to be in. I was like, oh yeah.
Whatever it is, you should totally cast me.
Yeah. All I know is I was like, well, we got to go check out the first 3.
I have like the most like I find out like they announce it and I'm like, I don't know. I like find out when everyone else does. And I selectively like will inquire or like push off. Like if it's something where I'm like, I'll never do this, I kick it off my IMDb, it's not there. If it's something where I'm like, oh, this is really interesting, I let it stay. There's like one movie on there now with like Joshua Jackson. I'm like, sure, I could work with Mr. Dawson's Creek. Abso-fucking-lutely. I was a teenager when Dawson's Creek was on. Abso-fucking-lutely.
Because IMDb has you like...
Oh, it's ridiculous. Every day I'm like on there like delete, get me off. I didn't actually sign on to that. I don't know what this is. I don't know this person. I wish IMDb had like the block button like Facebook has. It could be like, this filmmaker is blocked. They're just not allowed to add me to any more shit. Because they also like to add you to like crowdfunding sites. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that movie. Don't give them money. I have nothing to do with it. Bastards.
Yeah, we were talking to Eric Roberts last year, and he told us, oh yeah, IMDb, I'm only in about a tenth of those movies. Mm-hmm. Okay, well.
I actually disagree. I think Eric Roberts is in pretty much all of those movies. I think a lot of them he just takes the money and runs, and he knows, he's like, this is a train wreck mess. Nobody should watch this movie. So he's like, it wasn't me, I wasn't there. And it's like, but I thought you were, I can't quite see you because there's no lights, and I can't quite hear you because I didn't have a microphone, but it kind of felt like it was you. And he's like, no. Meanwhile, it was totally Eric Roberts.
So what?
Oh, side note, maybe I can't say this, but it's fun. We're at Seattle Crypticon, so we're gonna, anyways. I was with the Twisted Twins when they were walking by, and Eric Roberts like goes up to them, right? And he's like, hey, you guys are those girls that make movies. And they're like, yeah. He's like, oh, I have a movie. What kind of budget do you work within? And they're like, a couple million. And he's like, great, we could do this for $3.5 million. I'm the lead. I'm a museum curator, and at night, the museum comes alive. And he's like dead serious. And the girls like look at each other and they're like, are you pitching us Night at the Museum? And he's like, what?
Really?
He didn't know, like he was so out of it. And they're like, he totally just pitched us Night at the Museum with Eric Roberts instead of Ben Stiller.
That's a great story. Wow.
Only at Seattle Crypticon. If you're not here, you're missing out.
We're going to have to go
True
ask
story.
the girls about that later.
Go right ahead. They will tell you.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I have a question. Of all your movies so far, what's your favorite? Truth
or Dare is, by far. Not necessarily as an actor, just as like a person and as a filmmaker, because it was such a wonderful experience to first get behind the camera and control the narrative that I was trying to tell.
Was that your first director?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was the first movie I'd ever directed. So that will always hold a really special place in my heart, and kind of like fighting, because it's like a constant fight. It's a graphic torture flick. So every day I'm fighting to not let it get cut. I'm fighting to keep it seen as it currently is. I'm fighting to get this on the DVD. I'm fighting. It's just a fight, and I fought so hard for it that I'm hoping that as I progress in my filmmaking career that I can fight just a little bit less hard once I'm proven. But with Truth or Dare, it's been a constant fight.
Well, your struggles will be over soon.
Yeah. It's okay. I'm a fighter, so it's fine. I'm like, bring it. Let's go. I'm going to win because I'm like fucking stubborn. Like Will Smith had a great quote where he was like, if you challenge me to a race and we're both on the treadmill and I say I'm going to race you, one of two things is going to happen. I'm either going to win or I'm going to die. Those are the only two outcomes because I'm not going to stop until I win. So I either have to die or I'm going to win. And I kind of live by that same philosophy. Like I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep going. So I'm either going to win or I'm going to die. But there's only two outcomes for me. Second place is just not an option. And I have the stamina and the fight to win any battle that I go under.
Good for you.
So it's one of the things where it's like, bring it. Bring it.
What do you prefer? In front or behind the camera?
I think my love will always be in front of the camera, but every day that passes, I kind of become more and more passionate about telling the stories that are not being told. As a filmmaker and as a horror fan, I'm connecting more and more with that, just because I feel every day that passes, we're kind of getting, as a fan of the genre, we're getting constantly fucked over with these boring-ass, repetitive films that are just constant retellings of films we've already seen, with the same storylines, the same characters, and there's very few original tales that people are choosing to tell.
I mean, how many times do we need to see the Spider-Man origin story and the Green Goblin? You know?
I don't know. I haven't watched one in 10 years because I've seen it. You know? And because sorry, Tobey Maguire, he'll always be Seabiscuit to me. You can't save a woman from a building. You can ride a horse. You can ride a horse real well, jockey. But I'm not going to trust you dangling from a spider web. You just don't quite sell it in that skin-tight suit.
Yeah, it wasn't it. Yeah,
no, right? Yeah. I consider that a miscast. I just can't get into it.
What'd you think of Andrew Garfield, though?
I never bothered to watch it because I was like, I've seen this movie. Why do I need to see it again?
You don't need to see it again.
I work really hard for my money. I'm not giving it to you a second time.
For the same thing.
No.
So, excuse me. So, what is out now?
What's out now? Well, Truth or Dare is getting ready to be released, so pay attention to that. We have Camel Spiders, which is constantly playing on the Sci-Fi Channel, which, by the way, if you're a SAG actor, keep your contracts. I did not keep my SAG contract, so I get no residuals. Because I can't prove that it was a SAG contract. Which breaks my heart, because it's like playing every week. Basically, I would be really rich if I had kept that SAG contract. But I wasn't given the option to take it. If you're an actor, you just take that. You just take that SAG contract. Thank you, mine. Yoink. Keep it. So lesson learned. Don't make that same mistake. So that's constantly playing. Run Like Hell just came out, which is really good. It was released through Millennium Films, which is fantastic, and it's a really fun film. I actually tried to get copies for this, but it was the first time I could buy copies, so it took a while longer than I expected. The Sleeper's out, which is a really fantastic 80s film that I'm constantly promoting. I did a couple years ago. It's just a really great film, and it stars Ali Ferda, who is an upcoming actress out of Ohio that I cast in Desolation, and she's going to be one of the leads of my next film that I shoot, because she's just an exceptional person and one hell of an actress. Yeah. Like one of those people where you meet her and you're like, I just want to fucking hang out with you. Like, we should probably work too, but I mean, let's just hang out and have a great time. And then you're like, we should just make movies. That'd be fun.
If that's what you can do all day. If you could, that could
in
be
a
the
perfect
choice.
world. She hosts like a trivia night at a bar. I was like, I'll go and play trivia. I did not play trivia. I just went and drank. And played trivia very poorly. I think I answered like 1 in 12 questions, and the answer was Vin Diesel. But I was like, and then I was just like, yes, the answer to every question is Vin Diesel. She's like, Jessica, it was like, what is the fourth romantic comedy? It wasn't even a name. It was like a title of a film. I was like, Vin Diesel. It's Vin Diesel.
It's just like picking, C for every answer, right?
Yeah. Don't do that. I lost.
Okay, guys, so like she said, there's In Utero coming, Truth or Dare, Save Yourself, Desolation, and just
Mania, Kill the PA.
Kill the PA, that one, yeah, I'm looking forward to that one too. So,
the people are going to hate me. Kill the PA is going to be the most controversial film I've ever done. So if you've seen Truth or Dare or heard the controversy with how pushing the boundaries that is, Kill the PA is way worse. Just in the sense that there's going to be so many people that hate me, because like I'm getting so many people to be like, you can't show this, you have to edit this out. I've actually lost friends because I wasn't editing somebody to make them look like a decent person. I'm like, it's not my problem that they're a horrible human being. If you're a horrible human being and then you act like a horrible human being when there's a documentary camera like right there, you're not only a horrible human being, but you're a fucking idiot. I'm like, we didn't have hidden cameras. Like, the camera's right there. So if you're acting like a horrible, that's when you're like, you're supposed to be an actor. Fucking act. Pretend to be a decent person.
Did you not learn anything watching The Real World?
Apparently not.
Or any of the other thousands of MTV
right.
shows.
So Kill the PA, that's the one that I'm betting. That's going to be like the one where my haters will really love it. Because they'll be like, she's such a horrible person. Okay. How dare she release this?
So we'll be promoting the crap out of that then.
Yeah, it's super fun. It's great.
Awesome. Well, we're definitely looking forward to it. I want to thank you so much for coming and talking with me. Again, Jessica Cameron, ton of movies. Check her out. There's some on Netflix. There's some on Amazon.
They rotate out. Just Google me.
We were watching some the other day. What did we watch the other day?
one.
we've gone on a Jessica Cameron
Sweet.
binge lately. It was like, well,
Silent Night, Camel Spiders, Potpourri, they're all everywhere.
Mr. Hush.
Mr. Hush, oh yes.
Jennifer.
that's right. So remember to check her out. What's your website?
JessicaCameron.com.
There you go.
Right? If you can't remember that, I feel sorry for you.
And then make sure you check out Save Yourself.
Mania,
trailer
Desolation, Kill a
on-
PA.
Well, you can check out the trailers for
Oh,
a good
yeah,
number
and the
of those on
trailer's
our site.
on your website.
Yes.
Yes.
Which
But
she
you
will
haven't
share with you
posted-
very many
I
often.
don't think you've shared the Mania trailer.
We'll get on that. That's
Right.
we will get on that.
This is what it takes, chop chop. Don't make me hit you.
She's got nasty blades at her table, let me tell you. All right, well, thank you again.
My
I love you so
pleasure.
much. And thank you guys for watching. And again, Jessica Cameron, this is Sci-Fi Monkeys, and we're at Crypticon. Later.
Thank you guys.